Have you ever wondered how I meet my clients? Well, today we're going to talk with my friend and client Leo about how we met and how I have worked with him and what kind of, I've worked with him, he's done work with me. As you can see, we're in a nail salon. So this is Leo. I call him Leo. That's not his official name. So your official name is
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about what you do. What kind of work do you do?
So I am a nail salon owner. I've been so for the last 8 years or so. Yeah. And we do everything from nails to pedicures to waxing.
Okay.
We're looking to expand and do other services as well. So working on that. Hopefully in the upcoming year here, we'll have
Okay.
either a massage
I was going to
therapist
say
or
massage.
yeah,
I'll
either a
be in
massage therapist
there.
or even an esthetician. That does eyelashes or facials and
Oh,
stuff like that.
yeah.
So.
Awesome.
We're currently expanding a little bit, built some more rooms for it,
Good, good.
upgraded a little bit.
Yeah, you've changed a lot since I originally met you.
Yeah.
So,
We've come a long way since then.
yes. Oh my gosh, yes, yes. So I originally met Leo in 2018, the summer of, and we have a funny story. It's kind of embarrassing. But we met in the summer of 2018.
Right.
So they had just opened their salon. And I'm going to start the story, and then Leo can tie it up. So a friend of mine was here visiting me from Minnesota, and we were on our way up to Jerome, of course, to spend the day. And she's like, I want to treat you to a pedicure and a manicure. And I'm like, okay. And so she just kind of got on her phone and was just looking for salons. And obviously, it was a very last minute thing. And it was on the weekend in the summer. Okay, pedicures, everything. And we found Leo's shop, L&N Nails. And she called, and he was able to get us in later in the afternoon.
Right.
So we arrived, my girlfriend and I, and we started with the pedicures. And my girlfriend just unloaded on Leo. So tell us, what did she share?
If I remember correctly, it was about some crazy past relationship, or well, the current guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
there's a lot of Dr. Love advice going on, and how she should be doing it, and the direction she should be going, and oh my God, all these red flags were popping up for the current guy that she was thinking about. Yeah.
Totally.
So it was nuts.
Totally.
So yeah, that was a very colorful conversation, if you will, and
And Leo, you
yeah.
just rolled with it. I'm sitting in my chair. My girlfriend's sitting in this chair, and he sat down doing our feet, and I'm like, I was so embarrassed. I'm like, oh my Lord, how can she be sharing this kind of information? Number one, to anyone. Number two, to a guy. And Leo just rolled with it. He gave the best advice. I'm telling you, I was just blown away.
It
Blown
happens.
away.
It happens so often.
Isn't it funny?
We're the bartenders of the feet
The
world.
feet in the
Yeah,
nail world.
yeah.
This is true.
So
That is so funny.
so a lot of people open up to us all the
Yes.
time. I mean, it sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's crazy.
That was crazy. That left an
Yeah.
impression because that was in 2018.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, we're talking 8 years ago.
yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe I
How
have
how
worked
is
with you, and
her?
she's great.
Yeah.
She's figured it out, more or less.
That's good.
That's a good thing. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
She's much better now. Yes, I'm very proud of her. She's doing great.
Good.
So, yeah, when I first met you, it was my girlfriend just impulsively
Yeah.
calling, and you and Nancy, your fiance, wife,
Wife,
partner.
yeah, partner,
Okay,
yeah,
wife.
yeah.
Okay. So I
Sometimes
forget.
sometimes she adopts me, sometimes she doesn't.
Sometimes I know. Well, you've gone through a lot in
Yeah.
the 8 years that I've known you.
Yeah.
And so you had just opened your shop, and it was you and Nancy,
Yep.
and she could barely speak English. It was so funny. She was so funny, but she has now become a U.S. citizen.
Yes, she has
Yes.
recently.
That is so
Yes,
exciting.
yeah.
So I feel like I've just been on this crazy kind of journey with you guys.
Yeah.
You went from 2 kids to 5
Right.
in the time I've known you. Lots of babies.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing that happened, so we met with the whole nail thing.
Right.
And I don't know if I came back and was still getting my nails done. At that time, I lived in Dewey. But another realtor referred you and Nancy to me to
Yeah.
help you buy your first home.
Right.
And we met at like a Safeway at the coffee shop. And I walked up to you guys and I went, I know you. And they're like, we know you too. So again, small world, back together. And that sort of just kind of cemented it.
Yeah.
And then that was right. So that was in 2019. And we started
the whole process.
Yes.
Getting all my information and
Yes.
making sure that everything was pretty much getting dotted and crossed, and to prep us for the first house as
Yes.
we before we started searching. Yeah. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. There was a lot of preparation because you're self-employed.
Right.
So that makes it a little more challenging
Right.
because you've got to be 2 years.
It was 2 years. And as you know, we had just opened, so like our income wasn't like exploding. So
Right.
yeah.
But
So it was
look at today.
yeah.
It's like awesome. So yeah, that's sort of something self-employed people have to really keep in mind is that you've got to have 2 years of solid income,
Right.
tax documents, to show that you have money to buy
Right.
a house.
And in this industry, it was so hard because
Oh my God, remember the receipts?
yeah, because our machine was down for a while.
Because it was during COVID.
Yeah, it was at the before COVID was COVID.
Right.
Because it's 2019. So
right.
like
So it was sort of like halfway into.
yeah, it
moving
was I think we started back in like I want to say October, November. And so then it was just it was already like kind of in the air, but it wasn't a big deal yet.
Right.
People
right.
were like getting sick, but not really sick, and people weren't freaking out and everything.
We
yet,
didn't
so.
have the whole mask,
Right.
and the 6 feet,
Right.
and closing down
Right.
businesses.
This is pretty,
Right.
a lot of pre-COVID. Barely touching on it. Our machine had went down because God, what had happened? I don't know. They updated our software and they messed up.
Of course.
Yeah,
Technology,
so
gotta love it.
yeah,
I hate
so it messed up, and then so we were doing book receipts. Oh my God, old school ones.
You had to because you had to prove where your money was coming
Exactly,
from.
so I can give it to my
Because a lot of
accountant.
it is, well, obviously at that point it was all either check or cash, which
Right.
again, you question that, We want to make sure they're not drug lords or anything, that you're getting money from the bad places.
Yeah, I don't know, shady dealings in the back.
Yeah, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You're like looking for receipt books and stuff.
Oh
So you're
my
like
God.
writing receipts.
It was nuts.
That was crazy. And then COVID happened.
Right.
So we're in the middle of looking for houses, and we're looking. We hadn't really found anything yet, but suddenly COVID happened, and your business got shut down.
Yep. Yeah, we were shut down for
no more.
a month and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and it was really slow down. It was
frustrating as heck.
It
because
was.
we couldn't do anything.
Nope.
We couldn't, and you couldn't even. I mean, even if you had all your qualifications in place,
yeah, it didn't matter.
You had no current income,
Yeah.
and that kind of gets the underwriters a little sketchy. Like,
It was.
What? How are you going to pay for this mortgage?
Right.
So that was challenging.
Right.
So your first home experience, tell me what that was. I mean, you went through a lot.
Oh man.
How did we work through that? How was that for you and working with me through that?
I mean, we must have went through, God, 100 houses. We were just looking through houses. We were looking in the area, and then there wasn't really anything that was like hitting all of our specific needs at the budget that we had because of what we only had to spend because of the whole COVID thing.
Right. And then what else happened because of COVID? What happened with the housing market?
Oh, the housing market was crap. Everything was getting gobbled up.
Mm-hmm. It was like gone.
It was all gone. It was just like
God.
before you could like it hit the market, and all of a sudden it was in contention already. It was so like even if we found something, all of a sudden like 2 days later we're like, oh yeah, hey, let's go walk that house, and you're like, no, we can't because we can, but there'd be no point because it's already like somebody's already got is already talking.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. So, so we had to step out of our area a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. We did. We were originally looking because your business is in Cottonwood.
Right.
And so we were looking in Cottonwood. And
Clarkdale,
Clarkdale,
yeah.
and a little bit. No, I don't think we really looked in Cornville because there was only anything in your price range
I
there. But
think there
Clarkdale
was a
and
I think there
Cornville
was a couple
and
places in
Cottonwood.
Cornville, but it was like way back in like off the kind of road a little bit. It was back,
I can't remember that. I'm not sure.
yeah, it was way back there. I mean, we looked at a couple houses. It was way back there.
I know we looked at a
Yeah.
lot of manufactured homes
Right.
too.
Yeah, there was a couple of manufactured home
I
that
was
was out
like,
there that were like, you know what, it's okay, but it's not really that spacious, and
mm,
us like
and
building
when
on our
you're,
family. Yeah, because
yeah,
by the time we started talking about it, I already had one other kid, and then she was pregnant with another one.
yes,
Yeah.
COVID baby, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, so it was
That was so
COVID
funny.
baby.
That was COVID
Yeah.
baby. So we got through. Did you buy the house in 2020?
We did buy
You
the house in
did. I was
20.
like
We
trying to remember because we've done several, so
yeah,
that's why I'm like,
so we
okay,
bought
keeping
it
track.
July. I think that we went we found the house in July, and by the time August, September came around, we were finally able to close.
Yes, and the cool thing is, the cool thing. So all of this searching, all of these barriers, a new business, COVID, the market being insane, trying to find something in their price point before somebody else took it. You guys ended up in a great house.
Oh yeah.
It was a new build, brand new house. They got a brand new house. It was in Rimrock,
It was
in
in
a
Rimrock.
subdivision.
Right.
Nice, cute subdivision. I remember taking you guys out there to look at it. And they had a clubhouse area, and then they had a walking trail.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, the views here are amazing. So you guys were thinking, what do we want to do? You know, it's kind of far out there. And I said, you guys go just walk the trail, and I'll follow up with you later.
Yeah.
And so they went and walked this like 1 mile trail in the subdivision. It was so sweet. They were holding hands. They were so cute. And I called you later, and you're like, yeah, we want to put an offer in.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. I think there was also an issue with they were getting gift money because, again, they're first-time home buyers.
Right, for
and
my
the
mom.
hard part,
That's yeah.
yeah. So the hard part of buying a house when you're a first-time home buyer, unless it's a VA loan, which you can do 100% loan, is you got to come up with money for the down payment. So on an FHA, the minimum is 3.5, and your lender decides how much you got to bring a lot of times, and it's not always just 3.5. It could be more. But because you were getting money from someone who was overseas,
Right.
so talk about how that whole thing went.
Yeah, we were getting money from well, my mom had borrowed money from people from overseas, so it was going into her account and then going into mine. And so we had
So
to
overseas, where?
Vietnam. Yes,
Vietnam.
over in Vietnam. Yeah, I got some family back in Vietnam, so we were getting a portion of money from over there.
And that made it even trickier.
Yeah,
Because it's out of the country, considered foreign money.
right. And
So
so we had to I think that's why it took so long. It was because we had to wait for the money to season. Yeah, season.
I didn't want a word. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's got
yeah.
a season. I'm
Yeah.
like, what kind of seasoning
Yeah,
are we
yeah,
putting
yeah.
on this? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So I remember after I first heard, I was like, okay, season. Like you telling about you need like old money. I'm like, all right. So
Some money that's
yeah,
got something's been rubbed on, some
right.
dirt's on
So
it. You know?
yeah, so we had to wait.
3 months.
Yeah.
It has. I think it's 3 months. I could be wrong, but it was a long wait.
Yeah, it was a
had
long
to
wait,
be
and that's
in
why
there. We had to wait for it to get seasoned,
right.
and then at that point we could close. Was the house being built while we were? Yes,
No,
it was in process.
it was I believe it was in process, and there was just
Which
a couple
that actually
of
worked to our favor.
yeah, because then it stretched out the time we didn't need to close right away.
Exactly.
And so yeah, so it took it took a hot minute, and they were just doing little last minute touch ups. If I remember, like some electricals and
Yeah, remember the bathroom?
oh yeah, we
And I'm
like
the light switches. We had a home inspection done. Always do one on a new build, regardless, because then it's what they call a punch list for the builder. These things are not working or whatever. So we did that. The home inspector tells us the light switches in the bathroom, the primary bathroom, were not working right.
yeah.
And we told them, and they fought with me about it. The general contractor argued with me about it. I'm like, so on the walkthrough, he says we go in the bathroom, and he's like, these lights aren't working. And I'm like, we told you that.
Yeah.
not real happy with how they handled
No.
things, and they did
It
not leave
was,
any paperwork for you
oh yeah,
about the
no
house.
blueprints, no
No
nothing.
nothing. No
Yeah,
nothing.
and they
It was
fought about
like
this on that too. They fought us to the
it's
very
like
end.
this is his house. These are
Yeah,
nothing. They left you nothing.
yeah.
So that was
It-
just an experience I would rather not do again.
right. Well, I didn't. This is my first home, so I didn't know what I was expecting, what I was supposed to be getting, and then, um, you told me all these things. They're like, hey, they're supposed to leave you this, they're supposed to leave you that, and I was all
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, sure, they left me a house, and
Which I paid them
you
for.
know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah. So I mean, it wasn't the
yeah.
house itself wasn't, the builder itself wasn't the greatest thing about everything, um, especially because we had like things that needed to be replaced, and they never came back, and I mean, besides all that though. The hunting and the buying and the walkthrough, everything was so nice. Like,
Cool.
you know, yeah, we ended up adding, have to add a fence to it.
Oh
Yeah, it's
yeah.
for my dog, my crazy
Yes.
dog.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Their dog scares me. And
yeah,
I am a dog person. Dogs love me. Their dog is
yeah.
psychotic.
My dog is all guard.
Scary
Yeah,
dog.
nobody
Very
walks in
scary.
the house. So,
No, you do
yeah,
not want to walk into their house. Their dog will take you down. It's vicious.
yeah,
But she says he's a nice dog.
yeah.
Nice to your family.
Yeah, he's a one pack dog.
I
It's
guess. I guess. Scary. So we did that whole thing. We got you into your new house out in
yeah,
Rimrock, and that went really well. And I started coming to you guys on a regular basis. I was
yep.
driving from Dewey over here to Cottonwood to have my nails done, pedicures, because I just love these guys. And I have to say that they, just the way that their salon runs, it's not all, how do I say that? It's just more low key. It's friendly. It
It's
feels
not.
like you're having
Yeah,
family do your nails.
we're not pushing people out. We're
Oh, and they're not
you know.
pushing $5 for this, $5 for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh
we're
my
definitely not,
God!
not upselling.
If you want
We
it,
try to
you'll
make it
do it.
comfortable. We try to make it comfortable. Try to make it like you haven't left your house yet.
Right, and you do. It's
Like
great.
how it used to be. Like you had nail parties back in the days, right? So this
Right.
is kind of how we wanted to keep it. So it's sometimes a lot of vulgar language going on, about a lot of, but it's busy and
It's busy.
yeah,
People talk to each other when they
yeah.
come in here.
It's
It
not a
really
silent. It's not
is.
definitely not a silent shop.
No, not at all.
So
And they may or may not have TV on or whatever, but it's like we kind of jump into each other's conversations a lot of
oh
the
yeah,
times too.
yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't
Like
know you,
it's
but
like
I have things
something.
to say.
Like I want it to be like something like that came out of the movies. Like when you hear about
Like
going into a nail salon.
cheers. It's
Yes,
like cheers.
exactly. Yeah. You go to a nail salon, they start. Everybody's all gossiping and talking, and
All
any
right,
hair
like in
salon
the
nails.
50s.
Exactly. So that's
Woo!
how we like
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
That is the ambiance and the mood that we're trying to set.
And it does.
So
It's great. And you guys have gone through so many changes. Not only have okay, so you had the house. So as I'm getting to know Leo and Nancy and their kids. Now they have 5,
we are up to 5 now,
and they're so
and we're
cute.
done.
And they're so cute though. They're totally the cutest. And I'm, coming getting my nails done. I'm watching their business evolve as well, because it's how it looks today. I'm looking around at it and I'm like, this is not at all what it looked like when I first started.
Oh no.
It's
Yeah.
completely changed, and you've spent a lot of time and money trying to figure out how to expand,
Yep.
how to bring in more. It's hard to keep nail technicians. So I think
It
your
is.
current situation is really working out pretty good.
Yeah, I've changed it up a little bit from having employees to just doing kind of like how hair salons do it, and they rent out stations, and
Yeah, I thought
you
that was a
know,
great idea.
yeah. So just kind of like how in the real estate game they want you to have skin in the game, and and people stick around longer, and that concept works. So it lets everybody know that you're part of the deal, like.
Exactly. They have an investment,
Right.
financially invested.
You're financially invested. You're not just gonna skip town or even just be like, oh yeah, I just wanted to walk new houses just to see what I could have bought.
Oh, I know. That is so annoying.
So yeah.
What do I call that? I call that I'm not a monkey opening doors.
Yeah.
Sorry, people. If you just want to look at houses, I can tell you where all the open houses are at any given time. You just go and look. You want to look in Sedona? There's always open houses. Go look at those $1 million houses. But
Oh
don't
yeah.
call me just to look at houses. I am not a monkey. Open doors.
Yeah.
I'm a professional. You're a professional, and
Beauty
I
is
think
business.
treating your current partners, I guess I would
Yes.
kind of call them,
Yeah.
as they're part of this, and they've invested in it as well. You've got your wall of nail stuff, they've got their wall of nail
Yeah.
stuff, and I just helped them buy a house, which was pretty cool. And I see you guys
Yeah.
celebrated a birthday over there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I love it.
Yeah. We
I
celebrated
love
a
it.
birthday over
I
there.
love it.
We
I
did.
love it. So, back to your house buying journey.
Yeah.
So then, is it 3 years ago now? 2022.
Yeah. It's
You've
been
in the
3 years.
house. You were in your house for 2 years.
Right.
And they're like, we have 5 children. And they were driving, and yes, their business is in Cottonwood, and they were driving their kids to school. And as their kids are getting older and more busy
Yeah.
and activities, it's like, this is a lot of driving, because from Rimrock to here is about 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
Yeah, if you
like that.
yeah if you don't get stuck behind a
Slow-moving truck
yeah,
or-
a slow moving truck, because it's mostly just
2 lanes.
yes, it's 2 lanes, one way up when you're down, or the other one it's just full of roundabouts, which is just as annoying.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I kind of like
it's
the
just
roundabout.
yeah, exactly, but it is
It's a lot.
It's
When
a
you
lot.
have a lot of kids,
Yeah.
and your business is in this town, it just
Yeah,
and
and
I
it
know
was a
you
quaint
said-
town. It was a quaint town. But there was a lot of downfalls to it. Like, it's quiet, but there wasn't a lot of there's not a lot of shopping. There's not like necessity shopping, not just any other type of shopping. But
Okay, so you're in Rimrock, and yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of shopping. It's
Right.
very rural. It's beautiful though.
it's
out there.
beautiful, and
It's gorgeous.
it's like I said, I would recommend it for anybody who's trying to retire, or who wants that like that quiet life.
Works from home. I mean,
Yeah,
you
works
don't
from
need to drive
home.
all
You're
the
not,
time.
yeah, you're not constantly trying to go into town every single day. I
Every
mean,
day.
it was like I said, it was a great first home. I mean,
It
that's-
was, it was.
if I didn't have a gajillion kids and all their gajillion activities,
Yes, you do. So then we put your house on the market
We
in
did.
2022, and the market was still hot in 2022. We put it on, I think that summer. Like we'd crossed the 2-year line.
Yeah,
So we put it
Yeah.
on the market and did open houses, did some showings, and then finally got an offer.
right.
And it was pretty decent, It went
Yeah.
pretty well.
It went pretty
and-
well. At first, it was a lot of people were kind of lowballing us.
So, got under contract, sold your house, but we were looking for another. Oh, crumbs, that's right. We ran into an issue
Yeah,
getting you into another house.
right.
And out of. Talk about that. What was that experience like?
That was totally nuts because the market had just blown up, and it was a lot more expensive than. So the housing was blowing up, and it was just as bad because people were this is post COVID, so a lot of people from out of state, namely California, who are selling their little shacks for $1 million and then coming over here and gobbling everything up with cash, and the Airbnb business.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
started booming, and
Yep,
so
had-
yeah, so all these houses that skyrocketed were like it was almost atrocious on
We were
on
kind
what
of back in the same boat that we were before,
Yeah.
trying to get you into something that was in your price range that you were comfortable with,
Right.
and the down payment and all that type of thing. So you ended up, and I don't remember how long it was, in an Airbnb. You had to rent a
Oh,
vacation rental
yeah.
with 5 kids
for 2 months.
for 2. Oh, was it 2
It was
months?
2 months. It was
gosh.
almost like 15 grand worth of. It was crazy.
God.
Oh,
and so
my
there goes
God.
Your down payment money, your
It
closing
was
money.
yeah,
It was like, we got to get him in a house. So we finally
because
found a house.
yeah, because we were trying to we were trying to have us rent the house out while we're still looking for the other house, but the people who bought it were not.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
weren't.
yeah,
They
yeah,
weren't
they
willing.
weren't-
To,
yeah, they
their
weren't
house
willing.
sold too, and they're
Yeah.
like, we need to move in.
Yeah,
It was like
so-
there was no post.
Yeah.
No. So you had to move out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was tough. Again, these guys have not had the easiest experience with buying homes.
Yeah.
So what we ended up doing is continuing to look. So we continued to look, and you wanted something definitely in Cottonwood.
Right. This
We looked
time.
in Clarkdale too. That's not too far away.
Yeah.
But there just weren't a lot of houses in the price point you wanted. And you also were looking at maybe having a space to rent out to
Right.
people.
So
So you'd have like a
income.
little extra income.
Right.
So we found where you currently are. So now they
Right.
bought a house, sold a house, lived in a vacation rental for a couple of months with 5 children and your
Yeah.
crazy psycho dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't say that completely like their dog scares me, and I was scared easily. So we found the house you're in today.
Right.
So that had
A detached 2-bedroom, 1-bath mother-in-law kind of suite.
yeah,
And
it's super cute.
yeah, and it's on like the back half of like the property, so nobody knows it's even there. It's kind of secluded in its own little way. So
And you can access. It has its own access
right,
from the
there's
alley.
there's an access. It's yeah, it's like a municipal access alley kind of where like the water and the electrical people.
utility
Yeah, the
access,
utility.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. So yeah, so that's what made it even tougher, I believe, at the time, because we're looking for something that was, that could be generating income,
Right, exactly, exactly.
to help
So
us offset the
mortgage.
the mortgage, which at the time was getting higher because the rates were up.
Competition.
Yeah, the competition was up.
Rates
Yeah,
were starting to go up a little bit,
yeah,
but it was mostly the competition and wanting to stay in this specific area close to where the kids' schools and activities were, where your work is. I
right.
mean, literally, you could walk
Yeah,
to and from your house to here.
I have.
Okay, so
There's
it's
been
close.
days.
It's
Yeah,
close.
there's been days when I'm in the doghouse and she's like, you can go ahead and walk to work now," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Okay, there you go. Bad boy. You're a bad boy. Someday she likes that.
Yes.
Okay, we've digressed here. Okay, so
Yeah.
with that, knowing we are kind of coming to the end of our time, is there anything that, as far as what you would have, like, what was the best part about the whole experience, other than getting the house?
I think that um, if you're planning to buy a house, definitely like try not to do it on a rush deal, because it does take a lot of potential time nowadays. I don't know how it was,
It always takes time
like,
to make a good decision.
but if you're definitely if you're doing like a first time buyer, or you're moving out, kind of. Yeah, you definitely have to take your time about it. Like it's something definitely you don't rush into.
No,
Um,
it's a lot of money.
yeah,
It's a
there's a
big
lot of money,
investment.
and
It's a lot of money.
there's lots of different things that you have to have done before the prep work,
Yes.
which I didn't know about, which was there was a lot of
Did I
prep work
help
going
you
on.
with that?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah, she's been great. She walked me through everything, and my wife through everything, and she's not the easiest person to please. So
Oh
yeah,
no, Nancy's, well, again, remember, Nancy
yeah.
doesn't speak English real well.
So
So that was kind of a challenge because her English wasn't that good. So we would have to, I would explain to you,
and I have
and
to
then Leo
translate.
would translate to
Yeah.
Nancy, and then Nancy,
Yeah.
and she would try, and her English has gotten like so much better. It's
Oh yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was part of the barriers we had to get over too.
Yeah.
It's just the
So
language.
yeah, the language is was another big tough one. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what is she saying? What is
Yeah.
she? And you
Exactly.
would tell me, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
She's very, very specific and very
Yeah.
picky.
Which
And
which helps, because you don't have to waste time going to like 100 different houses, and
yes,
and with her too, what made it work was she looked up houses too. Like we were doing homework both our ends. You were looking up houses for us. She was looking at houses for you to like maybe you
check
thought
out.
like
Yep.
it wasn't in our best interest, but and you went ahead and did it anyway for us. So you're like, this is not going to be a great one, but let's just walk it anyways.
Yes,
You
we had
know,
a few of those.
yeah,
right?
yeah. And we walked in, we're like, all right, kind, okay, yes, you're right.
But
Now,
sometimes you got to see it to understand.
like that dark dungeon one, the one that went downstairs into the,
There were several like
yeah,
that.
yeah, it was kind of creepy.
They were older.
Yeah,
They were much older
yeah,
homes, and there has been a lot of remodeling over the years that
yeah,
was just like sketchy
yeah,
and scary. And I'm like, really? I don't think that's a good one.
yeah.
So, would you recommend me as an
Of course, I would. We're looking at it again in a couple years,
Oh
and
God,
yeah.
they're always looking.
Yeah,
Here's
we're
the
looking at
funny
it again
thing.
in a couple years for
Nancy's on my app. I can see her. She's on there. Favoriting house. I'm like, girl,
constantly,
what are you
constantly.
doing? They're in the middle of remodeling their current home, and I'm like,
Yeah,
girl, you are not buying another house till
yeah,
that puppy's done. I'm
yeah.
not going there.
So that's what
Okay.
I told them. I'm like, let's because we're doing a couple additions right now. So I'm like, let's knock out these additions first, and then
Yes.
we
And
can
then,
do additional,
well,
like
and
property,
yeah,
listing.
well, we can
So
talk about how that can
yeah,
work because I know you guys want to have multiple streams of income.
right,
So you've got the one rental at the back,
right,
and you've got your current home. So it may be one of those things that instead of selling it, and we look at the equity in it and see if you can take some equity out and buy another house,
right,
make that your primary, and make that an investment property.
right.
That would be great because then you'd have two on one
Exactly.
lot, so to speak, which would
that's
be easy to manage.
that would be the
You're
plan.
like, good, 2-1-1,
Yeah,
easy peasy.
that would be the plan.
Yeah.
So
So cool, cool.
Yep.
So that's what happens when you get to know your agent, you get to know your clients, you build this relationship. And so if you're looking for someone that actually wants to be in a relationship with you, not a monkey just opening doors, who wants to build that relationship long term with you as your realtor, please DM, comment. I am happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you, Leo.
Thank you,
and
Judy.
I will now release you to go to work.
Yay! The house
Thank
got to
you,
pay.
thank
It's
you.
not paying
Gotta
for
pay.
itself.
That's right.